Alright, class, and welcome back to our online learnings. Right now, you are looking at the slideshow lesson for the first session. So, for the first session today, we are going to study the blueprint for subject. Right now, we are going to study the unit 6, which is look good and feel good, right? So, for the lesson 1, the title is Getting Ready in the Morning. So you can find this lesson on your blueprint book, which is on page 76. So in this video lesson, there are three main objectives for you. The first one, when you finish watching this video, you will be able to use common routine vocabulary that you may use every day. And for the second objective, you will be able to ask and answer some questions related to the theme of the lesson. And for the last objective, we will focus on the structure, which is the use of take question. So at the end of the video, you will be able to use the take questions properly. For some grammatical book, they call it question takes. So without any further ado, let's look at some of our common routine vocabularies that we are going to study today. So here are the important vocabulary that you will see or you will hear in the conversations. So the first one, we have the word calm, and then patient, shelf, arguments, mirror, shampoo, cream, put on, and the last one is the word shoot. So some of these words are very simple and easy for you to understand. But to use all of this vocabulary, you need to have the context. So that is why we have one conversation to see how they use this vocabulary in their everyday routines. So this vocabulary, there will be two people, Tom and Ray. So when you listen, think about who they are. Are they brother, or are they classmate, and what are they doing? So listen carefully to this conversation.
Track 41. Will you be in the bathroom much longer, Ray? I need the mirror.
A little bit longer. I just finished shaving and I need to shower before my lunch date. I'll be quick. I don't even need to shampoo.
I'm trying to be patient, but you know I have a job interview in 45 minutes, right? I've got to shave.
Oh, I forgot about that. Well, you need to put on your suit, don't you? Why don't you go do that and comb your hair? I'll be out of the shower when you're done.
No, I might get shaving cream on my suit.
All right, you go first. You know, my brother and his roommates made a bathroom schedule so they never have arguments like this.
Thanks, Ray. We should probably do that too.
Okay, so this is the end of the conversation. As you see, they are roommates and they are having an argument who should use the bathroom. So they suggest to have the bathroom schedules. Alright, so after you listen to this conversation, I think some of this vocabulary you can figure out the meanings already. So let's start with the first picture. So this picture, what is this? Sure, it is cream, right? So pronounce this word properly, because if you see the word C-R-E-A-M, the sound is, for the C is sound cut, right? So it is cream. For picture number 2, it is shoot. So different from clothes, should refer to the formal dressing. You have coat, you have the ties right here. So we call this shoot, which is very formal. For this, you already know that the word calm. And you can see the reflection of the people right here. So the word is mirror. And for these, mostly it's applied to men when they have breath, right? We call it breath or moustache all around their mouth, so they need to remove this, so we call shelf, right? Now let's look at another 4 vocabulary. We have the word patient. So be patient. When someone tells you to be patient, they want you to be able to wait and not become angry. So here, let it be. And number two, when you have an argument with someone, which means you have a disagreement or a fight in word. You are not fighting, but you are not agree with something and you discuss it. So it's called you have an argument. Number three, shampoo. So shampoo is mean to wash your hair with a special soap used to wash your hair. So when you take a bath and you need to shampoo. Last but not least, number four, put on, which is the phrasal verb, and the meaning is to dress yourself in clothes. Okay, good. So these are the vocabulary that you have learned today. Now let's move on to the take questions or the question take, which is the last objective of our lesson. So if you look at the conversation here, there are two people, Melanie and Harriet. So Melanie said, "It's a lovely day, isn't it?" So here, "isn't it" is a take question. Beautiful, we are having a glorious summer, aren't we? So these are the question take or take question. So what is take question or question take? So question take is a short question added at the end of the statement. So there are two different purposes when you use the question take. It depending on how you pronounce or on how you use your intonation. So here, so when you falling down your voice, which is with a falling down intonation, the speaker think the statement is true. So if you look at the example, "It is a lovely day, isn't it?" So here, the speaker doesn't want the answer. The speaker doesn't ask the question. However, the speaker just want to emphasize that the statement here is a lovely day, isn't it? Which is true. So they use a question text to express this with falling intonation. On the other hand, if you use intonation with a rising intonation, which means you pronounce much higher, let's say, for example here, "You haven't heard the forecast, have you?" So here the sound is like the question. You express your question, you want some people to answer you. So here the speaker is less sure. So in this case, the speaker doesn't know if other speaker has heard the weather forecast or not. So the take question here is more like a real question. So be careful with the intonation. If you want to emphasize the statement is true, you use the take question with a falling intonation. But if you want to use the take question to ask the question, you use a rising intonation. So now you know the use of the question take or take question. So the question is, how can you form the take question? So to form the take question, we have two different forms here. If it is a positive statement, the take question should be in a negative text. So here, "it is very warm." So it is very warm, which is the positive statement, and you need to add a take, which is the negative take questions. So it is very warm, isn't it? Right? If you look at the negative statement, "it isn't very warm, is it?" So it's just a contradict with the statement. If the statement is positive, you use a negative take. If the statement is negative, you use a positive text. So a negative take is an auxiliary verb plus noun, as you can see right here. A positive take is auxiliary verb plus pronoun. So in some case, there is no to be or there is no modal verb. but the statement is in present simple and past simple. So how can we use the question take within those type of statement? You can use those type of statement with the form of do. So in the present simple tense, as you can see here, you live near here, don't you? So this code look nice, doesn't it? So I turn right, didn't I? So you can see different tense, which is present simple tense and past simple tense. There is no to be or there is no modal verb. So you can use the word do in order to form the take questions. So when some people state their statement with a take question, which means they just want to ask you a question, okay, with a rising intonation. So how can you answer to those statements? It's simple. When you say yes, it means yes. When you say no, it means no. For example here, Mark worked for Zeko, doesn't he? So you can see the take question is in the negative form. But your answer, you should focus on the information only. Let's say Mark worked for Zeko. If he worked for Zeko, you say yes. If he doesn't, you say no. So don't care about the take question whether it is a negative or positive. So Mark worked for Zeko, doesn't he? Yes, he does, which means he worked there. Melanie doesn't admit, does she? And when you say yes, which means I think she does, which means she admit. Claire is married, isn't she? No, of course she isn't. So she isn't married. Andrew haven't got many friends, has he? No, he haven't got many friends. Again, your answer associate to the meaning. If you say yes, it is a positive meaning. If you say no, it is a negative meaning. So here, Melanie doesn't admit. So, and then the speaker want to confirm here that she. And when you say yes, which means yes, she does admit. When you say no, no, she doesn't. So that's it. There is no contradict between the question takes at all. So don't care about the take question here. If the statement is true, you say yes. If the statement is not true, you say no. Okay? So everyone, that's it for our first video lesson. I hope you able to use the useful vocabulary to talk about everyday routine and be able to use and answer the take questions. So everyone, that's it for our first video lesson. Enjoy a short break. After this first video lesson, we will continue our second video lesson.